had to scrap the football realtor. I am a realtor that happened to play football.
There you go.
I've been all up and down the East Coast. I was with Miami and Washington, predominantly with Washington.
Yes.
And I do a podcast now covering the Commanders, just believe in Commanders, off your favorite streaming platforms. So go ahead and tap in for you, boy.
There you
You don't
go.
got to cheer for the
Absolutely.
team, but you can support a fellow realtor here in the state of Texas. You can do that for me.
Indeed. Indeed. When I tell folks, look, I'm a Baylor grad, right? That I support all the Texas teams until you play my team. Other than that, I'm good. I'm good. I
Yeah.
want I want to see Texas perform well and A&M perform well, right? And where did you go
Yeah.
to school? Is it West?
West Texas
Yeah,
A&M, way out there
West
near
Texas A&M.
Amarillo. Yes,
Absolutely. We,
sir.
we want to see y'all kick some tail too, right?
Yeah, I need them to have a good season this year. I might go up to homecoming. I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
Rock on, rock on. Well, so you had mentioned your podcast, and I appreciate that because, I've got notes, right? Because I think there's so much that I want to dig into. And so I'm just going to start right from the top with my notes, and there's no particular order. Okay. So with your football experience, right? Being a player myself, I think there's so many benefits that I got from playing that game, and not just the hustle, not just the blocking and tackling, but so many different things that came from it. I want to know what is one of the most unusual things or experiences that you got from playing. I mean, we all understand camaraderie and teamwork. We all understand that.
Yeah.
Dig deep. Find me something that you learned from sports that you would have never thought about. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
dig on that for a second.
Yeah, one that I was just chewing on earlier today when they're doing the cut down days. They're coming up here for NFL training camps, and I was telling a camper of mine, I was like, "Look, every team is not necessarily the best 53 football players that you can find. It's the right 53 football players that you can find." Like a third string quarterback is not going to be as good as a starting quarterback for a reason because then it's going to cause too much of a controversy. You have to have the right room put together. So whenever you're building out teams, and I've been on the side of it where I've been cut, and I've been on the short side of the stick, and I've been on the other side of the stick, the team and how you fit inside the team is ultimately important overall, right?
Mhm.
So whereas we all want to be, I used to have the special teams coach, Danny Smith. He'd say, I want to be the starting quarterback or I want to be the head coach, but it ain't going to happen. I got to own my role and where I'm at. So when you show up and when I show up in any capacity, be it personal training, realtor, doing media work, whatever it is, being a dad, I'm going to be so much more on my job because that's what's most important at that time. It may not be the most, the prettiest job. Running down there covering kicks is not fun, but it's what's most important at that time. It's my job at that moment. So that's something that I learned when you get to the highest level. And another one is attention to detail. You
Amen.
don't, you think that when you see a football play happen, they're just like, hey, run down 20 yards and take a right. Like everything from the snap of the ball, the quarterback's drop, the fake to the running back, the receiver's release, it's all on a certain timing and it's happening so precise. And it's think about like contracts that we're working on. If you have a box checked or not can change the outcome of a deal. And where we may glaze over it and say, oh, the quality control will catch it. We shouldn't have to let it get to that point. So having high level of attention to details, what separates the best from the rest, and those are a couple of things I've learned from sports.
And those were powerful. I appreciate you sharing that. Now I know in your bullet points we had talked about you had mentioned where you've come from or some of the I'd say discomfort, right? um I've got here in my notes uh what's a discomfort that really helped you elevate and or grow.
Ooh, I think it's the sometimes it's the discomfort of when you just fall flat on your back and you kind of realize you don't have anywhere else that you can go but up. Leaving West Texas, I didn't get drafted. I was an undrafted free agent. I made my way to Atlanta. I was down there for 24 hours, Ben, and then they cut me and sent me back to West Texas because I had just fractured my wrist. I had come out of surgery and all this other stuff. I made the decision and the commitment to go to the NFL, and it was uncomfortable going up the backside of that mountain, but I also knew this is the only way I'm going. I was so focused on that. I didn't have any other distractions. And I knew that as difficult as it was playing football in a parking lot, going through that struggle and just grinding to get to the top, I knew what my ultimate outcome was. So you could kind of strive through that discomfort. And every time I'm in an uncomfortable position, that lets me know I'm learning and I'm stretching myself. If everything is familiar and you're like, oh, this is cool and cushy, you're not stretching yourself. You're probably moving backwards real calmly. So I try to chase for those challenges from time to time.
Guys, don't miss that point right there. I mean, there's really no growth in comfort, right? There is growth in stretching when it's not comfortable, discomfort, right?
Yeah, yeah.
See, that's a nugget right there. Boy, I'm telling you, don't miss that one. Okay. All right. So the NFL experience was over. So did you go, did you besides, working in real estate, um, did you go straight into your physical condition and your camp gladiator and your personal training? Was that next? Or that's all just been part of the journey?
Man, that happened because we were having kids and it was cheaper for me to get my personal training certificate than it was to get a sub, to be honest. I
Okay.
did go right into real estate. I thought about teaching, so let me backtrack. I thought about teaching and coaching, and they're like, "Hey, you got to get your certification to teach and coach." I'm like, "All right." And so I did my hours, and then I was getting my flashcards to study. And for whatever reason, I opened them up starting on the back side, not the front. And Destiny, the first thing was trigonometry, and it had combinations of letters and numbers that I have never taken trig. So I put that stack right back together and I put it on. I said, I'm not going to be a math teacher. That's not for me. So I found my way into real estate watching those flipping shows.
Okay.
You see it and you're like, 30 minutes, you can make 30K. Psh, I got that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't do that yet. So it just ended up being a realtor, and frankly, I get to do the coaching. Y'all know it. We get to do the coaching in real estate. It's been very fulfilling to be in this real estate side. So I'm kind of loving the niche that I'm working my way into. Been doing it 11 years now. Personal training has been for 8 years.
And so is that every morning with the loyal few that I see on Facebook, or that's once or
Twice a
twice a
week.
week?
Twice a week, we're
Okay.
5 a.m. Pressing in 121 in front of Fuzzies. If
Okay.
anybody wants to join us, I
Okay.
also do a
I said I would
9:15.
one day.
Yeah, I know it. We got plenty of space for you, man. We got
Okay.
plenty of space.
Okay.
But no, that was twice a week. I was there this morning, so I get
Okay.
up about 4 o'clock if I'm running late, and then we get over there and those folks want to get it in that early, and we make it happen.
I love that. I love that. All right. So, a couple of things. I know you're you're an avid reader. So, give us something that you're reading that's really helped you, and things that you read. Now, it's funny. I'll digress for a second. My wife, her superpower is that one, she's a speed reader, and my wife has never picked up a book that she doesn't finish right now. So
Hmm.
when she opens it, she reads it right now, and her retention is crazy. I mean, she remembers a book that she read in sixth or seventh grade. She can
Oh
remember the
wow.
characters, all the details. And my oldest son, who was a Baylor man, also, I think that's part of his brilliance was his love of reading. Also, I've had to develop it, right?
Yeah.
And my retention sucks, right? And when I pick up a book or read, it's got to be something that's going to support me personally or professionally. Do you
Yeah.
read for escapism, or you also, like me, you got to get something from it?
I'm always trying to learn something new, man. I'm
Yeah.
always trying to get an edge. Like one of the books just off the screen. This is Mark Manson, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a.
Yes.
This is a good book. You read this, kind of go through that and helps you reframe. You're like, all right, I don't want to worry about everybody's thoughts or feelings. I need to make sure I'm showing up authentically. If you're going deep inside, I just read a book couple earlier in the spring, How to Do the Work by Nicole LaPera. It's about unpacking childhood trauma and some stuff that you've been dealing with in the past.
Mm,
that's affecting you now, you can
mm.
read that book and it's a powerful book. And I mean, I'll be real, it had me leaking on my birthday, writing in my journal, just
Wow.
unpacking all types of stuff. So if you're ready to go there, that's a good book you can check out.
Love it.
Um, what else do I got? Y'all got me. Here's a couple. Uh, The Power of Habit. Y'all know that book?
Yes. Yep.
This one's a great book. It talks about understanding the triggers of why you do certain things rather than changing the habits specifically.
Mhm.
So that's big. I'm big on transformation as well. Like
Love
I'm a
that.
transformation specialist and just kind of learning about epigenetics and knowing that you can change. You don't have to say, oh, well, my mama was, so now I am. And
Amen.
Dougie, my dog agrees with me on that too. So yeah,
I love that. And I would also counter and say that, don't be afraid of seeking some help because our mental health is so important today. I've had a therapist now for about 10 months, and she's one of the best decisions I've made. And she's really helped me work through some things. And again, I was fortunate and you know, would appear to have had, just cush upbringing, but even if you were fortunate like that, there's still some things that you have to unpack and realize that you want to change some things because I see you're a conscientious, doting father, and my father was raised in that period where, especially as a black man, it's like, hey, you take care of the family, you put a roof over their head. But he wasn't necessarily loving, touching, right, kind of father, right? And the I loves you were few and far between. But when it finally came out, it was powerful, right? And I changed that behavior. My boys heard it all day, every day. I had two boys, one's in heaven now, but I kissed him on the lips even as a boy, right? I kissed him on the lips because I didn't care, right? But I made sure I changed that small bit of behavior because I didn't hear the "I love you" part. I saw it all day from my father, but I didn't hear it, and I think it was important to hear it, especially as a young man. We need to hear that. So I'm sure
yeah.
you're that way with your kids.
No, I agree. I'm with you 100%. Um, yeah, you are 100% correct. Like my dad passed away the day before my birthday. So it took me a while to realize why I didn't really like my birthday day. Not that I didn't like it. I just didn't
Mhm.
really want to celebrate it. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because there
Yeah.
was a whole bunch of hurt that was tied to that. I didn't realize that till later. But I understand now, being able to be vulnerable about that, being able to share that it helps you connect a lot, with more people and shoot, everything seems to be brighter. It doesn't change what happened in the past. It doesn't make it any worse or anything like that, but you properly processed it. And then like for me, my being better than my father is just being present, being able to be healthy and to be
Amen.
here. You know what I mean? I don't know what age 7 and beyond looks like with the father. So I want to be there for my kids. I want to be there so my dad can watch the movie from up top and be like, man, that's a good show. I wish I would
Amen.
have been able to do that myself. So that's
Amen.
where my thought is now. It changes my health choices. You know what I mean? I'm over here getting body scans and things of that nature just to make sure I'm all, I'm upright and gonna build my legacy for my family.
Amen. Well, again, you said legacy, so well, we'll jump into that quickly. But now, again, I know you're a bourbon lover, so how in the world does that? How does that factor
Oh,
in with health? I know moderation is the key, but talk
yeah.
to me. How did that develop?
Man, I mean, I think it all really grew over 2020 like everybody else. But I going through unpacking all that stuff, I had to tail back a little bit and save it for the weekends and just make it, make it I don't want to say a reward, but just something that you wait for, right? Delayed gratification. There's something in that, right? If we give ourselves instantly what we want all the time, that Amazon Prime, that microwave mentality, we are never satisfied. You will never be satisfied. So if you just, I mean, and then when we're pretty much all in the means, have the means to get whatever we want at any moment, there is something to making yourself wait a little bit. And where I don't have a bourbon every weekend, I do still have a couple favorites where like, hey, I close a good deal. right? I met a cool guy named Ben Baker. I'll have a celebratory bourbon on the weekend about it. You know what I mean? So just tie it to good things and good habits, and it can work for you. Plus, there's signs that say the alcohol is antiseptic and all of that,
Mhm.
right? So you be responsible. That's all I say. I don't tell people what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
Just tell you to be responsible.
All right, give me your favorite
Oh.
bourbon.
Man, one of my favorites is the Woodford double
Okay.
oaked, Woodford
Okay.
Reserve double oaked.
Okay.
Still Austin is a brand that has a lot of good ones. They have a cask strength that I got in the closet here that's pretty tasty. Um, if you like something with a little bit of heat, little bit stronger, try Booker's. It
Okay.
comes in this wood case where the plexiglass slides up. It'll
Okay.
punch you though, so don't go in there thinking you're gonna get two or three. Just get your little sip first, and
Okay.
then try it before you
Okay.
go a little bit further. What else? If you want to go with a black-owned brand, Uncle Nearest
Oh,
is
absolutely.
one as well.
Yes.
Uncle Nearest, he taught Jack Daniels how to make Jack Daniels. So
Right.
if you want to kind of go back to the roots, all of their line will be good.
I love that. And I don't even drink, but I can tell you, you and I will, I'll sip something. So again, we'll celebrate life. Hell, next time
That
we get
works for
together.
me.
So,
That
right?
works for me.
I love it. I love it. All right, let's see. A couple other things real quick. So I see here that one you've emceed this what City House Game Changers in Frisco. What is that? I didn't even know about that. What is all that
Yeah.
about?
The City House of Plano, they've been around since about 88 or 89. It is a nonprofit organization where they essentially take in homeless youth, and it basically been through pretty bad situations. It's not. It could be anything from just a kid having left, an abusive situation, or the police have to go in and remove kids from a household. So here, I've heard some pretty bad stories, but I got connected with them, and they needed an MC for their gala. So I did it 2 years ago. They asked me to come back last year, and then they asked me to come back this year. So it's fun and good to be able to be a part of service like that. And they're doing it at the Renaissance in Plano on September 13th.
Okay.
I think they're still, maybe they're
Oh,
probably
that's
still
a
looking for
Saturday,
sponsors
isn't
and all
it?
that stuff.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
about to say, let me know, but unfortunately, I'm leaving for Vegas that morning, so
Okay.
'cause
All
I'd
right.
love to be there and support.
All
Wow.
right. Well, I appreciate that. I'll still get you connected.
Okay. Okay. Is there a connection to Plano that I've missed? Are you from this area?
Yeah, I'm from Carrollton. I grew up in
Okay.
Carrollton with the Newman Smith, and
Okay.
I think I just knew the person that worked there, and
Yes.
I'm all for helping people, man.
Oh, amen.
If you got a strong cause or something that I can put my name behind, if it's meaningful and doing something right, I'm
Yes.
down to put my name behind it. I've understood the weight that my name. I mean, you got a lot of followers. People carry that as currency now, so it's like
Yes.
if I'm going to put my name on something, it's got to be a good cause. So City House is that, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
I love it. I love it. Well, one, you and I have been connected almost since we met, so I'm not letting you go anywhere because I think my own memorial scholarships, the Never Too Young to Care charity, which was established by a young man here in Plano, and I know his family well. I mean, and we all go back. There's definitely a couple of things that, yeah, I put my name on and support behind. So we'll definitely keep you connected there. Real quick, you did a Black Professionals Expo over at Plano West. Was that also because of connection? Because I'm the charter class at Plano East, but my
Oh,
boys both went to Plano West. And
okay.
so, yeah, so I was like, well, what was that connection like? And what was that all about?
It was during they have an avid program going on over there, and then that one teacher brought over that Black Professionals Expo uh, program, and one of the teachers, I'm friends with one of her husband. Yeah, so yeah, her husband is a friend of mine. I went to high school with him. So he's an engineer in the area. And then they reached out and asked me if I wanted to go be a part of that. And I said, sure, absolutely.
Yeah,
And so I got up there and was able to, share a little insight. They had this little panel that came through about three or four different classes, and
right.
they had really good questions, really insightful things. And Seemed like there were some good takeaways for them.
Well, I think that it shows that we have a platform, and you can use it any way you choose. And clearly, you choose to inspire and educate and inform. I've been so fortunate to do the same thing, and I think that's it shows the importance of one giving back, and that it doesn't always have to be this, even
Yeah,
though I have given a lot of this, right? But sometimes I think I'm even prouder of the fact that giving my time and energy and inspiring, and sometimes just loving on these kids and wrapping my arms around them and letting them know that even though football was that was my it wasn't really even my ticket, because I was fortunate. I had some academic scholarships, that football was the route. And
yeah,
I knew that I was much more than a football player, right? I knew that, for the last 36 years, I've run my team, and, I've had the success, and that there's more in us. And
yeah.
there's more, right? There's
Oh
more to
yeah,
you. There's more to
oh
you
yeah,
than running routes, right? Running a
absolutely.
seam and an out and a cross, right?
Right. That and I can say that was the biggest thing that when I got into real estate, I don't usually go and people don't usually get to see all of this. They don't get to know that I even played football. Like I don't try to project that.
Yes,
And it's simply because people switch up.
yes.
Right? If I lead in with like, oh, football player, it's like them. If people gonna be on their best behavior, and you say, well, then everybody should always be on their best behavior, but we know that they're not. We know
Right,
that they're not. And
right,
I'd rather show up and just be, walk in and be cordial and friendly and see how you want to act. And if
right,
people act sideways, then I know who I'm dealing with. And
right.
so it's just kind of a protective thing. But yeah, you really I forgot where I was going with that.
I know,
But
no, but
yeah.
I think the point for you and I is that, folks today, they all, oh, hell, let me move that. They all Google me before I get there. And when
Mm.
I know that I've been Googled, because now they want to talk about my accolades on the football field. And I'm sitting there going, I'd never bring that up at all, because
Mm.
I'm more proud of the fact that I graduated from the business school. Right. I tell people, I'm like Janet Jackson. It's like, what have you done for me lately? Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun. Right.
Yeah.
That was way back in the past. I'm a different dude. Right.
Absolutely.
Um, and again, I've got a very successful real estate company and brand. And this is what I'm about. Right. Yeah. I learned some
Yeah.
lessons back then, but don't think that's who you're getting today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So,
I've learned no, Ben, but they want to talk about it. You know
oh,
what I
they do.
mean?
They do.
They want to talk about it. So,
They
I mean,
do.
hey,
They do.
I'll show them a clip. I'll show them the
Yes.
highlight videos if they want to see it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
ultimately, yeah, we are gonna get this transaction done though. So I'm gonna
Amen.
still need that rep agreement signed. We can
That's
talk
right.
all we sign the rep agreement first, sign the
That's
listing
right.
agreement first, and we can talk football all day. That's what I'm
I
gonna
love
do.
it. I love it. All right. As we depart here, give me something that again, you've done a number of these. Give me something that I didn't ask you about that's important to you that you'd like to share. Is there anything?
Mm. There's this one thing, it's this kind of little life project that I got in the back of my head. It has to do with food deserts. You
Yes,
familiar with food
all day.
deserts?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
way back
And
in the
matter of fact,
gap.
my company, we've supported forever Bonton. And
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you've heard of Bonton, but
Yeah,
we've got a
Bontown
number of
Farm.
Bontons here in the Dallas area. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's a space to kind of shift how you do it because you generally think dirt and need a lot of land to grow stuff, but you could do urban farming, right?
mhm,
And I remember driving through Mesquite and I was trying to get something to eat before this football game. There was nothing to choose, nothing
mhm,
at all. And I'm like, man, you could take a commercial space, put one of those aquaponic farms that grows fresh greens
mhm,
inside of that, inside of a silo right there. Now you've got a community space. It's a grocery that's close by, and you can increase the nutrients that go into their body because you're impacting that neighborhood.
mhm,
And it blew my mind because I was thinking about just in real estate, like we're driving around and we see what neighborhoods are nice and what we see what neighborhoods aren't. We see what things are over there. So I
mhm,
just think there's more of a way to have an impact
mhm.
in that. Um,
And you
let's
see,
see.
folks are asking about what's a food desert, and I can tell you my brief description is we've got so many parts. Mostly they're in economically deprived areas,
Yes.
not always Dallas, but many here in Dallas, where you don't even have a grocery store. I mean, miles and miles and miles away. And like in the Bonton community, some of those residents who didn't even have cars, they had to jump on one or two buses just to get to a grocery store, right, to buy some fresh
Mhm.
product, right? Because
Yep.
in their communities, there was nothing more than a corner store and liquor stores, right? That kind of thing. So,
Yep.
is there anything you'd elaborate more on that?
Well, I mean that's essentially it. I mean,
Yes.
but you can look and see it's just strictly it's fast food joints,
Yes.
gas stations, and there's no other food. So then if you consider if the kids are hungry and they don't get quality food, then what's the behavior going to be like when they're at school? Are they want even going to go? Are they going to go to school? So
Hmm.
all of these things build on each other. Every single issue that you hear about in political stuff, I'm not really going political, but every single issue you hear about, oh, the crime is bad. How about you feed them?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I know my
Yeah.
kids. I'm like,
Hmm.
what time were you acting up? Was it before or after lunch? Did you
Hmm.
have lunch today? Okay, you didn't eat? Okay, that's on me. I need to pack you more food. So I'm
Hmm.
just thinking, go down to the root. You can take care of a community.
Yes.
Generally, we want it to be a big name, a big company, but it doesn't have to be a big company. I visualize it being by a small retail space. One side of it is a community center of sorts. You got the farming aspect on the outside. You lease a couple of spaces to important, vital businesses like a dentist and maybe an
Mhm.
urgent care of some sorts. You offer entrepreneurship courses and classes. That way you get to know the neighborhood and know who's there. It should lower crime because of the interaction with each other. And
Amen.
you're pouring into the neighborhood with the good food, the good resources, and you probably can provide a couple of jobs if people need childcare and so on and so forth. So that's
Absolutely.
just in my head. That's just something that I've
Please, if
been
it's in
thinking
your
on.
head, Anthony, it'll come to fruition. And I can tell you, all you got to do is holler at me. Let me know how we can support that because it'll go from this to that
Yeah,
because you said so, and
yeah, for
you're
sure.
manifesting it already. So, man, I can't thank you enough. And I'm anxious for us to get together and either share that bourbon or break some bread, right? Talk life, talk real estate. Seth, I appreciate you guys joining in in 2 minutes or less. From a real estate standpoint, what would you tell that class? And I'm not sure if you can see the DPR Training Center class there with Seth in that beautiful jacket and his red shirt, right? Most of those folks, they're all like newer agents. So
Oh,
give
nice.
me, yeah, give me something. Give me something
Oh,
that a new agent could chew on.
choo.
Yes, give me something.
I'm glad you said this. What's up,
Yeah,
y'all?
yeah.
Um, Number one, it's gonna be okay. All right. That's what I'm gonna say. It's gonna be okay. You don't know what the hell you're doing right now.
Hmm.
I'm 11 years in. I don't know what the hell I'm doing still. Sometimes it feels like that.
Right.
Um, Go through this thing, trust your learning, trust your mentors, trust the people that you're around, and don't be afraid to ask questions. All right. Also, don't be afraid to say you don't know because everybody don't know. Trust me on that. Um, Ultimately, 4 steps to it all. Have a goal in mind. Have a destination where y'all trying to be. All right. It may be trying to be like Ben Baker, and I know that's tough to do, but he's been in this thing 36 years. All right. So you're not going to get it done in two. Number two, have some better decisions that you're gonna make in your life. It don't matter if you having the bourbon or dropping it, but start making better decisions that are gonna help you be successful in this business. Number three, figure out why. What's your desire? Why are you even doing this thing? All right. Are you trying to build a legacy for your family because your purpose is going to be fueled by your profession? All right. It's going to keep you going and showing up every night because this thing isn't easy. And then lastly, you got to deliver. You got to deliver. You know how to do it all. Now you just got to go up there and do the work. And if you do the work, I promise you it's going to show up. You're going to get the results. So if you come across my name on a listing, tell me you saw me in the class and we'll make sure we get something to go through. I'll be glad to help y'all out any way I can.